Hey everybody, so I just saw Uncut Gems, directed by Benny and Josh Safdie, aka the Safdie brothers, starring Adam Sandler, Kevin Garnett, Lakeith Stanfield, Julia Fox, Idina Menzel, and Eric Bogosian. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, buddy. Uh, every time I see an A24 movie, I say that is far and beyond my favorite production house in Hollywood. Every time, without fail, I say that in one of my reviews for their movies. And Uncut Gems is another absolute home run for A24. This movie is one of the most anxiety inducing movies I have ever seen, and it's like that from start to finish. The directing, at first, I hated the way this movie was shot and edited together. It's quick cuts and extreme close ups for most of it, with a bunch of handheld shots. But after about half an hour, it starts to become less noticeable, and these techniques utilized build into that anxious nature this film wants to make you feel. It works beautifully for the fast-paced events and how things slowly start to cave in on Howie's world, and how with everything that is going on, he continually feels the pressure, and it works beautifully from a narrative standpoint. As for the sound design, it makes you feel the same way that the directing does. It's a lot of natural sounds, but it's turned up to the absolute extreme. All the background noises seem to be turned up to make the audience feel even more anxious and make you feel like you're in the same position as Howie, and it works perfectly. Much like directing, it took a little bit to get used to, mainly because it makes you feel incredibly anxious. But it works perfectly well once you get used to it. As for the music, it's kind of the same way, where in one scene, in one shot, the music's going to be all the way up here, and the next one it's all the way back down again. But it works well. It uses a lot of techno beats. I don't know what the exact term would be for the musical choice, but it works well for that fast-paced, anxious feeling that they're trying to make you feel. As for the acting, I loved Sandler in this. He has a manic, crazed nature to his character, and it works perfectly well. I really, really hope he gets nominated for this performance. He really deserves it for this one. As for everyone else, they're great. Kevin Garnett does not play a bit role as a cameo appearance just to push the story along. He's a main character in the movie and does a surprisingly good job. I would have liked to have gotten a little bit more of Idina Menzel, because I thought she did a good job, and it was nice to see her on screen in a live-action role, because the only other thing I could think of her being in was Frozen. But it makes sense why she wasn't included as much. And Julia Fox, I thought was great, and I loved her, and I really want to see her in some more stuff. I really liked her and her character. Overall, this is easily one of the best movies of the year, in my opinion. There really isn't much I could possibly find to complain about. The only things I could think of is that it runs a little bit long, but at the same time, it doesn't really feel like it's that long. And a few of the shots I thought were a little bit out of focus, but I think that works with the rest of the film and what they're trying to make the audience feel. It's nerve-wracking, anxiety-inducing, and manic all at the same time, and it works beautifully. Walking out of the theater, I wasn't sure how I felt about this movie. Hell, sitting in the theater, I didn't know how I was going to feel about this movie. But the more I think about it, the more that I dissect it, the more that I break it down, and the more that I think about it, I loved this movie. I really, really did, and I really want to see it again. It's that good. 9.4 out of 10.